Hello, my name is Ken Volkmer, and I'm the Pinal County Attorney. And I just want to begin today by thanking each and every one of you for your dedication to come here and attend this seminar. Our hope is when you walk away that you'll have some takeaway information that can help you help identify and spot potential cases of elder abuse in our community. The fact that you are willing to dedicate your time, to spend your time off to be here, I think that bodes well for our community as a whole, and I think it speaks a lot about your community specifically. For those of you that aren't really sure what's going on or why we're doing this, the reason we have chosen elder abuse is because of the population of our community. As many of you know, we're kind of a retirement destination. We've got this beautiful Arizona weather, and we've got a fairly low cost of living. So we end up getting a lot of retirees, and those retirees that come in here oftentimes don't have family members here. And what will end up happening is we have people who move here that don't have direct family or anybody else. And as they get up in age and as they start to have health issues and other issues, there's a concern that they may be taken advantage of. And I'll give you a very personal example of why this is important to me. My grandmother was diagnosed with dementia when she was roughly about 80 years old. It was a slow progression, and she even lived in the community where my family and my parents lived. But because we didn't see her every day, we didn't really appreciate it. And what ended up happening is she was financially exploited. She had some rental properties and the renters weren't paying her, and then we didn't discover it until she wasn't able to pay her bills. So what happens now is my family has my 80-some-year-old grandmother whose checks are bouncing, who is struggling, and my family now has to come in, and my parents have to come in and help pay for bills and go through the court process and everything else. And I can tell you this has been going on for almost 2 years now, and my family is still dealing with this. So I can tell you firsthand the frustration and the difficulty this creates. What we want to do is we want to be as proactive in this office as possible to hopefully stop that before it happens. And then if it does happen, to give everyone a resource and some information so they can combat it. Elder abuse comes in a number of different forms. There can be financial exploitation, there can be physical abuse, and there can be emotional abuse. Financial exploitation is one of the ones that's most difficult to identify, and that's really what we're focusing on, and we want to make sure that everybody's aware of. And the reason is because you don't know. If this is your parents' finances, you're not looking at their checkbook every day. You're not seeing how things are going. But people can take advantage. There can be handymen that come to the house and charge outrageous amounts. There can be people that just come and try and sell them things and take financial advantage of them. All those problems exist. Now, there's also the physical abuse. And the physical abuse you would think would be often more obvious, but it's not always. Sometimes it's just being, for lack of a better term, manhandled or forced or pushed around. It happens. I wish I could tell you it doesn't, but it does happen. The third type of abuse is emotional abuse. One definition of emotional abuse is any act, including confinement, isolation, verbal assault, humiliation, intimidation, infantilization, or any other treatment which may diminish the sense of identity, dignity, and self-worth. While it's difficult to really identify or quantify this type of abuse, it is just as harmful, if not more, than the other two. Now, to kind of put into context the prevalence of abuse, I want you to look at these statistics as they show up on the slide. It is estimated that 1 in 10 adults over the age of 60 will be abused. Each year, it's estimated that up to 1 million adults over the age of 60 will be abused in their own homes. It's further estimated that as many as 5 million adults will be abused in the next calendar year. Even more problematic is it's estimated that 60% of the people abusing the elderly population are actually their direct family members. And finally, the cost of elder abuse and fraud is approximately $36.5 billion each and every year. In conclusion, it's my sincere hope that you walk away from here today with a couple key points. Specifically, it's my hope that you'll be able to at least somewhat identify or spot those that are subject to potential maltreatment or mistreatment or financial abuse. And again, it's very important that this isn't something that you try and take on yourself. It is vital that if you see something that just doesn't seem right, that you notify the authorities. You can call your local police station, you can call your local sheriff's department, you can call the Attorney General's office, or you can even let our office know. And the hope is an adult protective service as well. The hope is that if there is an issue, we can catch it early enough and address it before it becomes a serious problem. One final thing I'd like to discuss with everyone very briefly is a new initiative our office has come up with. Since we've taken office, it's been our goal to be as proactive as possible to help our community to the best extent that we can. One of those initiatives is we have our Citizen Alert Notification Program. And what that is it's our office gets a lot of information from various entities and agencies about scams and things that are going on in our community. This is our way of sharing that information with the community at large. Now, you can get that information by simply just checking out our Facebook page, which is the Pinal County Attorney's Office Facebook page, or you can ask for to be on our email distribution list. You can either sign up on our Facebook page or you can reach out to us. There should be some information going around and a paper going around where you can actually give us your name and email address, and we'll automatically include you with that list. And it's just a distribution list that we send out sometimes up to a couple times a week. And again, it just gives you, these are the local scams, these are the local things going on in your community that you need to be aware of. And our hope is that this will be, again, a proactive step to hopefully prevent people from being victims and having to come to our office. Again, thank you very much for being here. I wish I could be there myself. Unfortunately, I had a prior engagement, but you guys are the ones that make our community safe. Thank you.